looking over a flat Earth, and there's some mountains 273 miles away, then we know where the mountains are. We know what direction they are, and if we look in that direction, when it's clear outside, you can see those mountains, exactly where they are, and the exact direction that they are, and exactly where they are as they are. That's what you would expect on a flat Earth.
Except they won't be at the proper angular size. They won't be at the proper angles. They won't be at the proper angles up versus down. Their declination is going to be wrong. Everything about them is not going to match the prediction.
And the most obvious thing about them is
the angular size is calculated with the refraction. With the
we're getting ahead of ourselves here. The most obvious thing about the mountains is that the entirety of them will not be visible.
They are visible.
Not in their entirety, which is exactly what you expect looking over a flat
No, that's
surface.
not exactly what you expect, you dumbass.
Yes, it is.
Okay, explain why. Explain how the globe Earth knows more about flat Earth. That's interesting. So tell me why you would expect to see it.
I wouldn't say the globe Earth knows more about flat Earth, but I would say that the majority of people know more. I would say, hang on. I would say
why would you see it in entirety?
I would say a majority of people know more than you about geometry.
Geometry debunks your religion. Why would you expect to see it in entirety on a flat Earth?
Because none of it is obstructed.
But it is obstructed because of the atmosphere, you dumbass.
In reality,
why what?
In reality,
atmosphere is it obstructed?
In reality,
see, this is you guys have the straw man flat Earth to say flat Earth claims there's no atmosphere. You're an idiot.
Why would it be?
You guys think that flat Earth claims there's no atmosphere. You have two straw man flat Earth.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. Don't
that
run
is what
off
you
on
said.
this. You just got to ask a direct question. Please answer it.
I'm asking the questions, buddy. You just said that on a flat Earth, you would be able to see the entirety of it, and that is patently false because there is an atmosphere.
Okay, explain
You're
to
an
us
idiot.
how the. Okay, in that case, go on. Explain to us how the atmosphere removes it.
Regarding this atmosphere obstruction. If the moon fucking sets in the same place where the mountain
now we're talking about the moon.
We can clearly fucking see the moon going down and setting.
Now we're talking about the moon because you guys can't actually have very productive conversations of specificity.
What this fucking means is your claim that something is obstructed.
The dumb flirts.
No, WITSIT, WITSIT, you're the one who's refusing to be specific. You're saying that obviously it's the atmosphere. You're not explaining a single mechanism or even showing any understanding of what's going on. Explain to us how the atmosphere is obstructing it in such a way to where it makes it look like a globe.
It doesn't make it look like a globe, dumbass, because the globe would have it completely blocked. You idiot. How does it make it look like a globe? No. You have to say your claim is that refraction. Your claim is that refraction makes it look like it's flat.
Look, on a flat Earth, it wouldn't be blocked at all. Period.
How? Why not?
Because there's nothing blocking it,
except for the obstruction of the atmosphere.
All right, so let's talk about the atmosphere and how it obstructs it. Let's say you've got a target that's 1,400 feet tall in the distance, but you can only see the top 700 feet of it, and it appears to be obstructed by the horizon at the 700-foot high mark on that target. Let's say it's a tower that you can see that far. You can see the top 700 feet. The atmosphere, if obstructing the bottom 700 feet, were actually doing that, you would just have a section of it that you couldn't see, but the visible 700 feet above the obstruction that you do see would not be at the horizon. It should still be up in the air 700 feet above the horizon.
No, wrong.
You understand why? Tell me why wrong.
Okay, because the more dense area of the atmosphere is going to obstruct the bottom of what you're viewing. If there seems to be 700 foot of obstruction, but then you go back the next day, there won't be the same amount of obstruction, will there?
That doesn't.
Okay, you ran like a little sissy bitch. I'm gonna give you another chance to base the question like a man.
What was my answer, Curved?
Your answer was duh.
No, you don't even know what my answer was. I'll give you $1,000 if you say my
answer. What? You're not answering why the obstruction lowers the top half that you can see to the horizon and just wipes out the half that's obstructed. as though that space didn't exist.
No, see, there is compression effect.
No, see, you're not answering the question already.
Wow, you know I'm not answering it before I answer. You must be a savant.
Yes.
You're like a prophet.
Go ahead. Prove me wrong. Answer the question.
Okay, so there's a compression effect and a diffraction limit over the course of atmospheric conditions. And then whenever it's more dense towards the bottom, and then it's going to cause obstruction. I make observations all the time. The bottom is the more dense atmosphere area, so it causes more obstruction. So when you look over the flat Earth, you have angular side sheets with distance and atmospheric conditions in a more dense area in the bottom that will obstruct the bottom of it, which is exactly what we observe. Whenever you guys say, oh, there's 700 feet of obstruction missing, and based on the flat Earth, that means that it should be floating in the air. No, it's sitting there on a flat Earth, and the bottom of it's hard to make out because of obstruction of the atmosphere. If you go back the next day,
how does the obstruction work? Why does this clear gas cause obstruction?
Because it's compiling of density.
It's a clear gas.
Are you saying that looking through miles of atmosphere won't cause obstruction?
I'm saying looking through miles of atmosphere would look like a haze or a fog.
No, it's hard for the light to get to you through the more dense area.
Right. So why does it appear to make the horizon rise up? That is the logical conclusion of what you're saying. Why does that happen?
Well, the horizon is just an apparent location. So whenever you sit there and take time lapse, the horizon will constantly move based on the conditions of the day. Is the Earth breathing in and out?
So is what you're saying?
Is the Earth breathing in and out?
Hang on, WITSIT. You seem to be saying two things at the same time. One is that the atmosphere blocks things by making the horizon appear higher than it is. That's one of the things. That is a logical conclusion of what you're saying.
No, higher than it is.
It's not
That's
a
not what I'm
logical
saying.
conclusion. It's not a logical conclusion.
No, it's not. No, because you just said higher than it is. No, there's no than it is. The horizon is just an apparent location. The sky doesn't literally converge with the ground.
So with Curve's example of a 1,400-foot tower and only being able to see the top 700 feet, and beneath the top 700 feet immediately is the horizon. What do you call that?
The apparent location where the sky appears to meet the ground based on atmospheric conditions. And if you go back the next day, there won't be 700
how
feet
is the atmosphere causing the apparent location of the ground to move 700 feet up the tower?
Well, it's just an apparent. There is no moving. It's just an apparent location, and it's based on the atmospheric conditions.
Right. So why is the apparent location of the ground at an elevation of 700 feet?
It isn't always at 700 feet, though, is it?
In that example, it is.
No, it's not. It's not a real example because it constantly moves.
You really need to examine yourself, man.
You can't answer. Does it always stay at the same location? Yes or no?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so then is it physical obstruction or is it just an apparent obstruction?
This isn't about what I believe. This is about This is about your explanation, WITSIT. You really need to think. Listen. You really need to think about this.
No, you need to think about it. Is it physical obstruction or apparent obstruction?
You're not answer the fucking question.
This is about what you're claiming about reality, WITSIT.
You can't answer. Is it physical obstruction or apparent obstruction?
How is a clear gas making the apparent position of the horizon appear higher than zero? Okay?
Hey, can you answer the question?
Why is that happening, WITSIT?
Look, you just admitted that it moves, and then I asked you the follow-up. So is it therefore physical obstruction or apparent
obstruction? The Socratic method isn't going to get you anywhere here.
You can't answer the question, guys. Hey, you just admitted that it moved.
You asked him the question to avoid answering one that was presented to you. Get back to the question.
No, the question is
fundamentally, you're cocooning yourself in denial.
You can't answer.
You're doing it now. You're doing the la, I can't hear you.
Hey, buddy, what you're trying to say is that the reason that there is obstruction of 700 feet is because of Earth curvature. But the problem with that is then you simultaneously...
I'm not trying to say anything with it. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to ask you why you think a clear gas is causing
such an
obstruction.
So wait, does everyone in this room agree that clear gases can't cause obstruction? Does everyone agree with this guy?
Can you answer the question without
of course it can
obfuscating
cause.
or changing the
I've
subject?
already answered it 5 times, you fucking idiot!
There isn't just gas in the atmosphere.
Calm down. Take it down a notch.
I've tried to stay
You're
calm, and
spiraling.
now that I answered their dumbass questions 7 times
Oh
in a
my
row.
God.
If you know you're right, why are you so angry and calling people names?
Because it's a
why are you
flaming
calling people
gamma
names?
spiral.
You
Can't help it.
names for 2
You
hours.
think you're
Why?
so fucking right, but you're sitting here yelling
I'm
and
objectively
screaming
right.
like a fucking
Objectively
lunatic.
right. Really? So how about you can answer then?
Calm
Is
down.
it an apparent
Not
obstruction?
serious.
Hey, is it an apparent
I'll
obstruction?
never answer my question.
Is it an apparent obstruction or a physical obstruction?
Oh my God.
You answer
Why
first.
does it
Ed.
appear obstructed if it's not obstructed?
Hey, is it apparent or physical obstruction?
Well, in order to appear obstructed, doesn't something need to be obstructing it?
Okay, it's just an apparent obstruction.
Answer the question.
No, yeah, apparently.
Hey, look, guys, he can't answer the question.
I did answer the question, you idiot.
What's your answer?
I said, yeah, it's apparent.
No, it has to be obstructed to appear obstructed. Why would it appear obstructed if there's no obstruction?
Because it's an apparent obstruction. No one said
Something is obstructing it.
Yeah, no one said there was no obstruction. That's called a straw man.
So why are you trying to delineate?
Because you guys are trying to say that there is physical Earth curvature blocking 700 feet, but when we go back the next day, oh man, well, Austin, why are you getting mad? Because
you're
literally
trying to
they
say the
interrupt me every time.
atmosphere is compressing the bottom into nothing.
Oh, you're so right. Why are you getting mad then, Austin? Why are you getting mad and calling names then, Austin?
The top down with it. So, Austin,
You sound like a
how does it
child. Bro, fuck out.
700 feet?
How about you get over 100 IQ before you jump in the conversation?
You sound like a fucking child.
Down to the horizon.
Hey, to the dumbass female that keeps jumping in, can you answer the question? Or you just gotta keep on throwing in with ad homs? Can you answer the question?
Fuck, and
I'll give you $100 if you even know what the question is.
I know
Shut
your
up.
stupid
Shut
fucking
up.
question.
You don't even know what the question is. How do you know it's stupid?
You stop,
Hey, you don't
stop
even know.
acting like what you're saying is not fucking retarded. It's retarded as shit.
Do you guys think that she's smart?
Smarter than you.
Yeah, she's crushing right now. So
Yeah,
can you guys answer?
I'm
Hey,
sure
can you guys?
you didn't even fucking graduate high school. You gotta have a fucking
So
GED. Shut the hell up.
I graduated high school. What are you talking about? I had a full ride to a private university. How about you just shut up?
Out of a private university.
You're whining like a little bitch.
Did you drop out of a private university?
Someone's mad. So can you guys answer the question now?
Who here has dropped out of a private university? Anybody else got that accolade?
Yeah, exactly.
Dropped out of private university.
I went and graduated.
Okay, so can you guys answer the question yet, or no?
WITSIT, you're not gonna explain what's obstructing.
Can you answer the question
This
yet? Yes or
guy
no? I'm
The
just gonna keep
atmos-
asking the question. So, is it an
You're
apparent or
just
actual
derailing
obstruction?
it.
Is it apparent or physical obstruction?
The fucking earth that's curving.
There's
Okay,
actual
so do you guys
obstruction,
agree with her?
or it
Do
wouldn't
you guys agree
appear
with her?
obstructed.
Do you guys agree with her?
What are you
That's
trying
what
to
it
say?
That's what
Stop
it is.
being fucking retarded.
Wow, you're so
Not
smart.
that.
Curve, stop it. You know I'm about to
Stop.
bury this woman. That's why you're trying to interrupt, Curve. Okay, so she just said that I'm an idiot because it's obviously
You are an
physical.
idiot.
Because it's
You
physical
are an
Earth
idiot.
curvature. It's physical
You are an
Earth
idiot.
curvature. Yeah, make sure you interrupt me because you know I'm going to dismantle you.
Kev, we're
so
gonna
you
need some
just
order
now said-
now.
You're
Getting
not
a little
gonna-
bit wild and
you
out
just
of
wanna
control.
talk a whole bunch of words, Salad. Sound like you know what you're talking about.
This is
but
what
we
you
know
like.
you don't know.
No, this is
Well,
not
no
what
one here even thinks it
wants.
Your
sounds
boy's
like
getting
what you know you're talking
decapitated. That's
about.
why you don't like it,
It's
Kimo.
not what we want.
You talk super
This is
fast.
exactly
but
what you
you're
want.
fucking
You can
up.
speak
You seem to
English.
be
Calm
oddly
down.
obsessed with me, woman. Do you have a crush on me or something? Why are you so personally obsessed with me?
Because you come on here all the
Oh, I
time.
think you have a crush
so
on
you
me.
can force people
You
to
two
listen
should
to your
kiss.
bullshit.
I think you have a crush
You're
on me.
fucking retarded.
These
Why are
two
you so
should-
emotionally connected to me personally?
No one has a crush
I
on you.
don't
Chill the
care
fuck
about
out.
you.
Okay,
You're
so
annoying as
I
hell.
think
You're
it's-
whiny. You're like
I
a
think
whiny little bitch.
You're whining
it's-
right now.
It's
What's
Yeah,
interesting.
causing
exactly.
the apparent obstruction?
One of-
What's it?
Yeah.
So she just said that I'm dumb because it's actually physical Earth curvature that's blocking it, right?
That's not the only reason you're dumb.
But the problem with that is that when you go back the next day, it won't have the same amount obstructed. It won't be 700
So
feet.
it changes.
What
is the nature of the obstruction?
Is the Earth breathing in and out?
Is it spiritual obstruction?
Is the Earth breathing in and out?
No.
You're claiming it's not actual obstruction.
So then the physical curvature.
The obstruction caused.
Wait,
WITSIT,
why would you put forward the idea that the Earth would be breathing in and out? You know that people have explained this to you before. What have they said to you then?
They say, well, we just know the Earth's a ball, so we just presuppose that it's an
nobody says that to you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly.
Nobody says that to you.
No.
Yeah. So here's the deal.
I told you.
If you're going to claim that there's
what explanations have people given you for why you can see things far away at different places, and sometimes you can see further and sometimes you can see closer? Why do people say that is?
You say that it's based on the atmosphere, and that's what flat Earth.
All right,
says.
so we're not actually saying that the Earth is breathing in and out.
Right, but this is the problem.
So why would you put that forward as a?
Well, let me explain. If you probably stop interrupting me like the dumbass little low IQ bitch you are, then I'd probably explain it, wouldn't I?
That's a very gamma outburst from you.
Well, then stop interrupting me,
dude.
dude.
Better than that.
Okay, so I'll let you guys finish, but as soon as I go to respond,
I think you just don't like being made a fool of.
No. You're an idiot.
Well, why does he do it to himself?
Stop interrupting
I think
me.
He does like it.
If I'm such an idiot, then why wouldn't you guys just let me expose how dumb I am? Why would you have to interrupt?
Go ahead. Give it a shot.
Okay, so he said, oh, you say that the Earth's breathing in and out. Why would you say that if people told you that it changes because of the atmosphere? Because you guys don't realize the contradictory worldview that you have, and you're claiming that it's a physical location, an actual location of Earth curvature that's physically obstructing the view of 700 feet. But then you have to turn around and say, well, it constantly moves, so it isn't the physical curvature that's blocking it. It's just an apparent obstruction. So for you to say that it's the physical location that's blocking it and that it changes, the Earth would have to be breathing in and out.
What changes it? What changes it? What's it?
The atmosphere.
Right, so there's refraction going on, varying amounts of refraction that changes how much is obstructed by the curvature. What's not to understand about that?
It's not by the curvature. It's just by the apparent location.
What is it then?
You have an apparent location where the sky appears to meet the ground because of convergence and compression in the distance. That's how your eye works. That's how optics work objectively. On a flat Earth, we would expect.
Why do you want the Earth to be flat?
See, if you keep interrupting me, I'm just going to leave. And then when I leave, you guys.
That's fine. I would be okay with you leaving.
No, that's not okay. That's not okay. Look, let's calm down a little bit.
Bye.
When I leave, you guys will pretend that I ran away. You know, but no, it just
already.
Just ride the storm a little bit, WITSIT. You've absolutely destroyed them, so they're a little bit.
You know that it's refraction that's going on. You can see it. You can see it in Chicago.
Yeah, she wants to.
Have you not seen the time lapse of Chicago going up and down in the field of view of the camera? You don't think that's the Earth breathing now, do you, WITSIT?
No, see, the flat Earth knows that the horizon is just an apparent location.
So what's making the buildings go up and down in the field of view of the camera, irrespective of the horizon?
Okay, so the horizon is just an apparent location that constantly fluctuates based on atmospheric conditions.
All right, wait a second. You're going the wrong way. Irrespective of the horizon. We're just talking about in the stationary field of view of the camera, you see buildings rise and go back down. What causes that? Fuck the horizon. Answer the buildings moving. If it's not the Earth breathing, which we both know it's not, it's refraction changing how much those buildings are being loomed and stretched and towered and all that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, then what's your beat?
Well, the problem is that the globe Earth necessitates a physical obstruction. Right. So the difference in globe Earth.
Yeah, the looming brings it up over the physical obstruction. End of story.
Do you see how I've calmed way down and you still have to interrupt me?
Go ahead. You're not saying anything.
Okay. So the globe Earth requires a physical geometric horizon. right? Because the Earth's supposedly a ball and it bends at a certain rates. But the flat Earth knows that the horizon is just an apparent location that fluctuates based on atmospheric conditions, and this is exactly what we observe. What you do is you look at the apparent location, you presuppose there's a physical one that you just can never see, and then you say, well, we know it's there. This is just the apparent refraction image of it, and it's constantly moving. Just believe me, I promise it's there.
That's not what we say.
Yes, it is.
No, that's a straw man and a red herring, and you're a lying cunt.
Okay, well then let me clarify so I don't straw man you. Do you ever see the actual location of the geometric horizon?
Yes.
You do see the actual location of the geometric horizon?
Sure. I also see 437.834 feet away from me, but I can't pinpoint exactly where that is of the image, but it's not removed from the image. It's not hidden. It doesn't act as the horizon either. But the geometric horizon does not disappear from the image and go away and get removed. You understand that?
Okay, so can you cite a picture
so
where
you ask me, do I see the geometric horizon? I'm going to tell you yes, because it's in the image.
Okay, can you cite an image that has the geometric horizon we saw, please?
Any of them.
Well, just cite
that distance away from you is in the image.
Okay, so in the Black Swan, where's the geometric horizon?
It's between you and the apparent horizon.
So, but you don't know where it's at. You can't actually see it.
It doesn't act as the effective horizon. What do you not get about this? Why do you think that all of the surface of the Earth is invisible between the camera and the apparent horizon?
Well, no, according to your religion, there's a tangent point of Earth curvature.
Tangents are just cards. Shut up.
Okay, so according to your religion, the Earth curves and there's a tangent point that causes a geometric horizon, physical obstruction,
sure.
Right?
And we use that to calculate shit. Nobody actually goes out here and makes a physical tangent to touch a point on the Earth. These are geometric concepts that are used to give us very good approximations of how far away something is.
Okay, so it's an approximation, and we don't ever see the actual location.
Well, I mean, to what accuracy level, what precision level? Of course, it's an approximation. So, you understand this argument?
Yeah. So you agree that you don't ever see the actual location.
Do you think you have precision on the flat Earth?
Do you want to stop running away? So you agree you don't see the actual.
You can't tell us how far anything is from anything else on the
Everything that was ever measured was on a flat Earth.
What are you going to do with that?
Everything ever measured was assuming a flat Earth.
That's a fucking lie.
It's called plain survey data.
You just can't stop lying.
It's called plain survey data. You drop a plumb line.
You ought to go to a rehab, man.
You drop a plumb line that is vertical, perpendicular to the assumed plane. That's how we make measurements. That's how we have any type of measurements of any
assumed plane. Assumed.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way you can measure the Earth.
Multiple plumb lines will show you that the plane is.
Oh, now you're running. Now you're running away. So.
No, I'm not. I'm refuting what you just said.
No, you're not refuting what I just said because what I said.
Yeah, I did.
What I said was when you make any.
And these measurements will refute that, and you know it.
To make any physical measurements of the Earth, right? Then it's done assuming a flat Earth. That's the only way that you can measure the Earth. Objectively, because you drop a vertical plumb line perpendicular to the plane Earth. That's how you make the measurements.
Show me a physical measurement of two distant plumb lines being parallel. Was it?
Well, if the Earth on a flat Earth, you wouldn't expect them to be perfectly parallel.
I want a physical measurement. How do you do it?
Well, on a flat Earth, you wouldn't expect them to be perfectly parallel through vast distances of the atmosphere. So that's.
So it's all presupposition. You reported to Nathan Oakley.
No, see, the only way that you can measure.
You're going to taste his balls again. How do you like his balls in your mouth with it?
What a weirdo. So the only way you can make.
That's what's going to happen.
The only way that you can make physical measurements of the Earth is assuming the Earth is flat. So what
you're presupposing it.
So we had Curve admit that you never see the actual location of the geometric horizon. So how do you know it's there then?
See, it doesn't matter if you think it's a globe because
Get him, Merle.
And it really doesn't matter what any of you say or think about it. What do you think the Earth would think of us arguing about the Earth?
Doesn't think, Merle.
Do you think the Earth would be embarrassed?
What does the Earth think? Earth is not a thing.
Hey, Doofus, is your mic working?
Do you think the Earth would be embarrassed for the humans at their level that they've arrived at?
You're being very weird, Merle.
I think the Earth would almost be ashamed of the humans.
What do you think,
Merle,
Witsit?
that's enough crazy.
What do you think, Witsit? Would the Earth be ashamed of the humans?
Yeah, totally.
I think it would definitely be ashamed that some people believe that.
What are we really doing here? Are we fighting for our rights? Are we trying to move forward as a species, or are we just speaking shit on the internet?
Why
for
are
6
you
years?
speaking crazy shit?
Speaking
here,
shit on
Merle?
the internet. 6 years though.
Well, couldn't speaking shit on the internet really be about trying to improve ourselves as a species?
I hope so, Lewis, but it's gone on for 6 years, man. Where's the end game?
We're not
I
good
go
enough.
around the United States
We're
trying to wake
not good
people up.
enough.
The end game is
That's more like
12 years.
There is none.
for all you retards to figure out the Earth is
This
flat.
hasn't. I mean, this is a recent realization for the Earth, the modern people. It's a bit of a shock, right? I mean, look at the way you guys are dealing with the shock of finding out that the Earth's not a globe. Like, you can't deal with it.
But it is a
Oh,
globe.
you delusional,
Yeah, and think about how Merle, think about how weird it is.
Onto the flat Earthers.
Right, and think about how weird it is. Like, if they actually believe that the Earth is a ball and that the conversation is so open and closed that whoever dares even think it's flat is a complete idiot, why would you be on the internet for 5 years arguing about it for hours every day?
Because you idiots won't stop.
Well,
so
one
weird.
reason is that we think
We're
maybe you can be corrected, and that would be good.
Oh, it's out of the goodness of your heart.
They're here to correct
Well,
us.
doing selfless things isn't entirely all selfless. It makes you
Yeah, that's
feel
why
good
you guys
as well.
dox me and stuff, because y'all are such good-hearted people.
Like, I don't know who doxed you, but they shouldn't have, and that was
Just
not-
read the chat, bro. Just read how toxic this room is.
This room is not nearly. This room is not nearly as toxic as many other places on the internet who argue
Have you read-
about things that are even dumber.
Have you read the chat?
Have you read 24/7?
Why come here then? Why do you come here?
Why do you think
Your chat isn't any better.
And do all that? Why?
How many people
Your average Twitter post about any political subject is going to be 10 times more toxic than this.
Well, yeah,
That's true,
politics was designed.
How many people doxed you, and why are you trying to use that as some kind of a hammer against the entirety of the room? As if we were all involved when it was maybe, if it happened, what, a few people or maybe even one?
Yeah, a few people, but yeah, you're right. But it's even beyond that, right? Like,
you do that?
well, Curve, check
Well,
this.
you
If I
just-
come in here and I don't
How
even say
about if
anything,
we hang all of Nathan Thompson's sins on you?
no, that's
Well,
you
just
guys
lucky
act like you
didn't
care.
take.
All right, so
You're just
look,
lucky.
hold on.
You can,
This
like,
is not
not
going
do
anywhere.
that.
This
That's
is
a really bitch move.
just mindless.
Real bitch move.
This is mindless. Mindless going of nowhere.
Like, you can do nothing but drag it down for mindless because you have no way to improve
I
it.
think,
So what are you complaining about?
I think because obviously we're lacking a topic. A great topic is.
We had a topic.
What's the topic?
And WITSIT couldn't hang, and Wall was embarrassed and had to come in and sing Clown Rodeo Posse for him.
Yeah,
Well, no, the topic is that if you've never seen the geometric horizon, how do you know it's there?
It's just a measurement. It's calculation to a distance.
Well, do you agree it
The
has to be there if there's a ball?
distance doesn't disappear. Why do you think a distance doesn't
sort your
exist?
mic out for goodness sake. This is awful.
Well,
Why
so
not
I
actually
can
be
do.
subjected to your terrible
So,
microphone?
If you can't handle me, that's fine.
Your mic,
Did you
even
buy a new
Verbal's
computer?
telling you your mic is terrible.
It is, but I can understand him.
You can understand him, but
If you've
it's
never
like,
seen,
it's even worse.
if you've never seen,
Discord, they do this shit.
hey, if you
Discord does this shit to people. I'm not the only one. Fuck
Listen
yourself.
to this
yeah, but
microphone.
here's the problem, man. If the Earth's a ball, there has to be a geometric horizon. That's a physical Earth obstruction.
I think his microphone is charming.
Yeah, you would.
That's a physical area. It's a physical actual
weird thing to
location.
say.
Listen, it's a
That's
physical
not-
actual
that's weird.
location of
Charming.
obstruction of Earth curvature if the Earth's a ball. So
But
it
it
has to be
works,
there.
you know?
So if we've never seen the
Lewis, you're
geometric
being
horizon,
so toxic right now.
You're gay, Lewis.
Your logic is flawed, WITSIT.
no, it's not because it has to be
It
there if the Earth's a ball.
absolutely is.
That's how you guys supposedly got your radius.
Negative.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Nobody measured distance to the horizon and determined the radius of the Earth.
What Alberuni did was he looked at the horizon and then he came up with the radius value.
Beefy said negative.
What
do you mean
What
negative?
figure did he use?
What?
What did he use to come up with that radius?
The angle dips in the horizon.
There you go. That's not a distance to the horizon.
I said he looked at the horizon.
And I'm pointing out the difference to you that you don't want to talk about. And as I said, nobody uses the distance to the horizon to derive the radius.
The way that you got the distance was with the radius, you moron. So they looked at the horizon and then they came up with the radius.
You got it all backwards. You got it all backwards.
No, I don't.
You do.
Somebody, since my microphone is offensive to Chemo,
It's
somebody who
unbearable.
understands Alberuni, please explain it.
Yeah. So what Alberuni did was he looked at the horizon.
Don't know what he did.
Try all
at-
night.
Who cares? It's not the only source of the shape of the planet. We have all tons of different sources. They all confirm.
Scott, shut up. So what happened was
Dude,
Alberuni.
don't tell people to shut up.
We're trying to have a conversation, Veach. What's going? So we should stop talking now, then.
Don't tell people to shut up, Kimo.
So is the audience to stop talking now, then?
Look, we have more than one method of knowing what the shape is with.
See,
it.
you're
You don't
just
have
trying to shut it
rely on
down. See,
one.
you're just trying to shut it down, Scott. That's all you're doing.
I'm just trying to respond to your point that Alberuni did it a certain way. If we have more than one method, then who cares how we did it?
Yeah, because we're talking to Curved with his bad
Chemo,
mind
hush.
about
Hey,
the
Chemo,
method.
shut up, Chemo. See how that is?
You trying to shut the conversation?
Shut up, Chemo.
Yeah.
All right.
You
But
guys
you see my
are
point, which
scared.
is we have multiple methods. Then why are you fixated on Alberuni?
Well, we're going to talk about this method first. So Alberuni, he looked at the apparent
shut up.
location of the apparent location
because
of the
there's more than one
horizon.
method is inconvenient to you.
No, we'll talk about each one of them. I can decapitate them all. So Alberuni looked at the apparent location of the horizon.
Well, I've been working out with the Iron Neck.
Okay, so he looked at the apparent location of the horizon, assumed that it's an actual.
I'm gonna break
Well,
your
use a
ass.
struggling conversation here.
They can't have the conversation because they're scared.
Yeah, Lewis, you're getting too into the LARP. Just note, this is live action role play. Relax, guys.
So Alberuni looked at the apparent location of the horizon, assumed that it was an actual location, measured angle dips, and then came up with the radius value. But now, when we talk to Globers in 2021, they say, well, you never see the actual geometric horizon, even though we were told that you see the boats disappear over the curve of the Earth. Now you never see the actual geometric horizon because we debunked it with the Black Swan. So that means that the methodology that Alberuni used literally doesn't work at all.
That's incorrect. That's
What
incorrect. There's a couple different
stipulation
ways.
did Alberuni have in order to make his measurement?
Say again?
What stipulation did Alberuni have in order to make his measurement?
He assumed the Earth was a ball.
Negative. What did he need in order to do what he did?
The assumption that the Earth was a ball and that the horizon was an actual location.
How
Negative.
How do you
He
spell
needed significant altitude. He needed to be well up off of sea level. Why?
That's irrelevant.
How do you spell
isn't.
ab?
The
ab-
method is not
ab-
irrelevant.
team.
You
Yeah,
cannot
he did it to
cite
try. He did it to
Alberuni's
try to
method.
control the
Hold
variable
on.
of refraction.
You
I already
cannot
answered the question.
cite.
muscles.
You cannot cite Alberuni's method and say the method is irrelevant.
No, I'm saying, it's irrelevant to my point. Yeah, he tried to eliminate refraction the best he could by getting it in a higher altitude, but the horizon still fluctuated. That's why he had to take averages, and he measured the angle dips to the apparent location that constantly changes. And now you guys
How
Fluctuation
would
at
you
significant
refraction?
altitude.
You guys claim that there's a geometric physical location of Earth curvature that your model claims, and yet you claim that we never see it. So how do you know it's there?
If you see an apparent horizon, then you know by definition that there's a geometric horizon. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
That's not
And
true
from
because
10,000 feet, how much is that horizon going to deviate and move around angular-wise?
Okay, so you don't need them.
We can establish kind of like an error bar with that. You know what I mean?
You guys know how to have.
You don't want to finish the discussion, WITSIT.
Actually, I'm trying.
What he's trying to do first, but curved and Veet won't let a conversation happen.
At significant altitude, WITSIT.
It doesn't matter. The fact that it moves at all is the point.
How much?
It doesn't matter.
Oh yes,
it does matter.
The reason it doesn't matter,
how much it moves, how much it affects the accuracy, is definitely key to your whining that you can't do it.
Okay, well, first of all, sometimes it moves drastically. You typically throw those out.
From 10,000 feet.
Yeah, you throw the ones out that move too much, and it doesn't.
Where do you have it moving too much from 10,000 feet? Can I see it?
He would have just thrown them out.
How much?
When did it happen?
Actually doesn't matter because this is called a non sequitur because it doesn't matter. The argument is that it.
No, your argument is a non sequitur. You're bullshit.
No, it's not. No, the argument is that
certain measurements because of refraction.
The argument is that it moves. Period.
You're making up a story.
No, we know for a fact.
When did Alberoni tell you he threw out measurements?
No, I'm saying it doesn't matter because if it moves at all, that's
you're
my
saying
argument.
He did to back up your story that it moves too much.
How do you spell?
There's no too much. If it moves at all,
how do you
if it
spell
moves
that?
at all, if it moves,
Albiruni. It's 2 words. Alberoni, and he did not score 6 touchdowns in the city high school football championship game.
So he was an Arab.
So the argument is that
yes, he was.
The argument is that if
can't
it moves,
trust him.
Oh my God!
O.J. Simpson was innocent.
We can't trust Al-Biruni. He was an Arab.
So the argument is that if it moves at all, then it's not in an actual location that you're measuring angle.
How much does it affect your measurement?
It doesn't matter if it moves at all. It's not an actual location.
So if the radius changes by less than 1%,
Kev, can't you hear doofus or something with your rubbish mic?
So if
there's
the
something wrong
radius
with you,
changes
why
by
don't you go on
1%
mute?
day to day, does that have any significance to the method?
Yes, because what you're doing is you're looking at the horizon, and then to get the radius value, you have to assume that you're looking at the actual location of Earth curvature. That's how you get the radius value, is you're supposedly looking at the physical obstruction of Earth curvature at the horizon.
So I'll ask again because you didn't want to address it.
See, you can't respond.
So if I have to ask it again because you didn't address it, if the measurement is within 1% day to day, does that have anything to do to discredit the measurement method?
Yes, because the measurement method is assuming that what is moving is the actual Earth curvature.
No, it's the amount of refraction, you fucking retard.
Okay, so you're admitting that because of refraction, then the perceived horizon moves, which is what Flat Earth says.
Well,
so
I mean,
what
there's
he did.
2 things there. So one is that deviation, that 1% deviation is from the current thought radius value.
Okay, so that's called a reification fallacy and a non sequitur.
Right,
so,
right. So so that 1% deviation is not attributable.
It's irrelevant
to refraction. Yes, that's correct. It is irrelevant. But if you were to repeat his observation and get deviations of 1 to 5% even, you could attribute that to refraction.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're looking at an apparent location, assuming that it's the actual location. That's how I came up with the radius value. It's the idea that when you look at the horizon, what you're seeing is the Earth curving and causing a geometric horizon or physical obstruction, right? Where the ground curves and then it blocks your view beyond
you're
that.
assuming it's flat and that obstruction is caused by a clear gas.
Wow. See, when you look at the end of a long
That's literally
hallway,
what you're doing, WITSIT.
No, see, it's just an optical effect. When you look out over distances, things will appear to converge into a vanishing point.
What is Al-Biruni's method?
You are
at
so
multiple different
fucking
altitudes?
in denial, man. It's unbelievable.
You see how all you can say is that
change.
So,
you are in the midst of somebody pointing something out to you. You immediately change the logical framework from where you're going to position yourself.
No, it's a combination of things, and you guys are so dumb that you think
it's not a combination of things.
Me every time,
it's not a combination of things. You're in denial. That's all that's happening.
You see how I let you finish, and then every time I talk, you interrupt me? Have you noticed that?
This is another version of denial.
How about you stop interrupting me, then, instead of giving us your color commentary on my psychoanalysis that no one gives a shit about.
I only have so many things to say, and I've said.
Well, then just go on mute then. So when you look at the end of a long hallway, it'll look like the ceiling and the floor converge into a vanishing point. Now, they don't actually converge, do they? It's just an optical effect.
Why don't you think you're in denial? How would you know?
Wow, dude. You see what he does? Because he can't respond. So when you look at the end of a long hallway, it looks like the ceiling and the floor converge. It's just an optical effect, though. They're not actually converging.
WITSIT, you've got a really prime window of opportunity there with Lewis. I really would have taken that and run with that a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one that's in denial because I used to think the Earth was a ball, and then I had to break out of what I previously thought, be open-minded, and research it from both angles, and then open up to what the truth is. You're in denial of the possibility that you were tricked and lied to, so you're self-projecting your own denial. That's why you can't be honest.
YouTube is
We
not
have one
research
method
yet.
that works, Al-Biruni's method, that gives us a close approximation of the Earth's radius. So let's discuss another method. Pick one.
Okay, so as long as you're willing to admit that that was an inaccurate way to get the radius value, we can move on.
How inaccurate? You said we got it. It's within 1%. So where's the inaccuracy?
No, it's not about within 1%. It requires you assuming the very thing you're claiming to prove.
Define accuracy. What's it?
It's assuming the very thing you're trying to prove. So if you go look at the horizon and then you just assume the Earth's a ball, so that means the horizon is because of the curve, and then you try to figure out how much it's curving, that doesn't prove if it's curving or not. You had to presuppose that to go in there and interpret the data that way.
So we've got one method that returns within 1% the radius of the Earth. Now we can discuss another method since you were unable to discuss.
You're not going to get away with misrepresenting the conversation.
Since you were unable to dismiss this method as producing a value that is close to what is commonly accepted. So pick another method.
Okay, so once again, it doesn't matter if it's acceptable based on what's commonly accepted or not, because what's being challenged is what's quote-unquote commonly accepted. So if you just keep on presupposing it over and over, that doesn't make it real.
How does his measurement?
What's commonly accepted, but the value that we have from the method that you cited is the commonly accepted value. So your citing of this method does not refute that value. So now you can pick another method that you
I'm
think
sorry you're
can
lost,
refute
but I'm sorry you're lost, but here you go.
Why are you bringing up Al-Biruni at all? How does his measurement discredit the current one at all?
Because he's the one that's attributed to coming up with the radius value. The way that he did it was by measuring angle dips of the horizon. Then this room has to now admit in 2021
the current way of measuring it isn't the same. The current way of measuring is not the same as his method. So how does bringing him up help you at all?
Every single one of the methods have to presuppose the Earth's a sphere.
Okay, and?
Well, if the Earth's not a sphere, then the methods are wrong, aren't they?
Yeah, but how does that help you discredit the current method?
Because it just requires the presupposition of the Earth being a sphere, which it's not.
You don't know that.
You don't know that it is one because all of your methods require you presupposing it is one.
I would say that the degree of certainty that I have that it's a sphere is many orders of magnitude larger than the degree of certainty that it's not a sphere.
Well, that's your subjective. You probably think you came from apes too. You probably think you're pretty certain.
No. I mean, that's irrelevant, but it is interesting. It is interesting, and I don't think we came from apes. I think we are apes.
Exactly. So you're an idiot. So here's the deal. My point is that your subjective opinion of how sure you are of something doesn't change objectivity. And so every methodology to determine the
point is my point of view, whether or not somebody is able to articulate to you the things they believe in the way that I am is another story. But my point of view is the norm. What I believe is what most people believe. So if you don't care what most people believe, you're not going to reach most people.
Oh, you must be right, because most people think that. When I actually go out into the world and I ask people, see, they know nothing about it. They may think it's a ball just because they were told that. I offer them $100 to tell me how big the Earth is, and none of them know. I offer them $100 to answer how fast the Earth spins, and none of them know.
How many people take you up on that? You're in these public squares, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people walking, thousands of people walking by you during the time that you're out there.
And none of them know the
how many people actually come up to you? How many people come up to you?
It doesn't matter. A lot of people
Yes,
will come
it does.
Very much
yes,
matters.
it does, because we're talking about what normal people believe.
Yeah, so the reason that people don't typically come up is because they know they don't know the answers.
It's
they
also
just
probably
don't care. They ignore you.
Wow, WITSIT, does that make you feel real smart? Wow, you're so much better than everybody else, bro. Wow,
No,
you're just real smart.
That's not what I'm saying at all. My point is that most people don't even know the specifics of this conversation.
You don't know that.
Why are you interrupting so much?
Because you don't know that.
I do know that.
No, you don't. Have you talked to most people?
Well, when I'm around thousands of people and they're just sitting there, and I say, "Hey, I'll give you $100." No strings.
Thousands of people sitting there. There are thousands of people sitting there.
Yeah, there are. I was just at the NBA Finals where there were 65,000 people sitting there.
Listen, after about 15 seconds of listening to your talk on your microphone, the people there immediately recognize that you're crazy, and there is no point in talking to you, and so they don't.
But I'm offering $100 cash to anyone. I say no strings attached.
It doesn't matter how you could be offering $1,000.
You're a gamma. No one cares what you're talking.
You could offer $5,000.
Okay, so I ask people. I say you don't got to pay to play. You don't have to pay if you get them wrong. No strings attached. Very basic, rudimentary questions about the globe Earth, just to make a point that you guys have been engineered, because there's a stigma attached to this conversation that as soon as I say the Earth's flat, you guys will all laugh and ridicule and make fun of me. But the truth is, it's very unfounded for you to do that, because you don't know anything about the Earth model that you think I'm crazy for not believing in. And if I am wrong, just come up here and prove I'm wrong. Most people don't even.
We already did anyway.
You're not getting it.
Most people don't even know how many times the Earth spins every
believe
day.
something similar to what I believe. And you
But they
don't care.
They don't even know what the specifics are.
You already said this, and I think you were being honest when you said this. You don't care what they believe, and that's why you are never going to get through to them. Even let's assume for a second that everything you believe is 100% true, and we've all been brainwashed. The fact that you don't understand the extent of the brainwashing is the thing that keeps you from reaching people.
Wait, what makes you think I don't understand? I know that 90% of people think the Earth's a ball. That's why I go talk to them, because I know they've never heard the real flat Earth argument. If you Google it, you'll find Flat Earth Society. You won't find WITSIT Gets It or Globebusters or Jainism. You'll find Flat Earth Society. If you Google Flat Earth, you'll find 10 reasons we know the Earth's not flat.
For fuck's sake, like Obama talks about flat Earth, so don't even try to act like that.
No,
You're trying to hide it. He fucking
Obama talks about Flat Earth Society.
So thanks for making my point, the way you talk about the flat Earth and the way you characterize globe Earth beliefs and why people think the Earth's a globe, and the way you characterize evolution, all these different things, the way you characterize it lets people know that you don't understand it.
Actually, I understand it better than almost all of the globers in the everyday world.
If you really believe that, you need to be able to represent those ideas in a way that makes sense to people in order to reach them. And you don't.
I do. Yes, I do. So I explain exactly what the globe
telling you, you don't.
But do you think I care what a globe zealot thinks about my activism?
Exactly, right there.
You're not an everyday person. You're a globe zealot.
We got you.
No, WITSIT, you're wrong. You're wrong. If I saw you in public, I wouldn't say a fucking word to you. I would ignore your presence and move on with my day. And that's because I am a normal person. And that's
you're a globe zealot.
Most people do ignore him.
That's exactly what everybody else is going to do. It is very rare for somebody to come up to you and exchange more than 5 words with you, and even that is rare.
Yeah, so I have hundreds of people that double back and sit down. I have people that hold their fist up. I have people that come up and dap me up and give me a hug and say thank you and ask for our cards. Yesterday, when we were at WWE Flat Smackdown, right, we had 5 different flyers spread out. People were getting the cards all over the place. We're asking questions all over the place. I don't care what you think about it. You're not going to stop me from doing it. And my point's objective, that most of the world that thinks Sirius the Ball, it's just like everyone else before they looked into it. They just assumed that we know.
I'm not trying to stop you. I don't care if you do it. I'm just telling you why I don't think you're effective.
Okay, I don't care.
Nobody gives a shit if you go and hand out flat Earth flyers. Nobody gives a fuck.
Okay. So that's a cool story. So the point is that most people don't know the specifics of the conversation, and we all know that's true because we just know who even thinks about the Earth. We know what it is.
How do you know that? How do you know most people don't know the whatever you call it, the quote specifics of the conversation? How do you know that?
Because I've gone out into the world and I've offered people free money to just answer the basic questions about it to show they know the most rudimentary aspects of it, and no one ever gets it right. No one ever.
Right, if you don't know the exact measurement of the Earth's radius down to the foot, then I declare that I'm smarter than you, and I know, and I'm like the smartest person in the world.
Good try, actually. No, it has nothing to do with me being the smartest person in the world because I know the basics of the globe Earth. The point is, I actually give people things that are even close, right? So they don't have to say 24,901. If they say 24,000 or 25,000, give it to them. If they say anything close to 93 million miles away for the sun, give it to them. If they say 4,000 or 5,000
who gives a shit if they have the basics of it right, which is that, where it's a fucking sphere, we're on a fucking ball floating through the goddamn vacuum and shit. Who gives a shit why does it matter if they know the exact down to the mile radius of the Earth? Who gives a shit?
It makes him feel smarter than everyone.
No, what makes you feel smarter than you is that I'm just way smarter than you.
It's an ego.
Yeah, so anyway,
I'm sure that you probably think that about everybody.
No, but this female that keeps jumping in, I'm definitely smarter than her.
Oh my God.
She can...
I don't
think so. She at least went to college and graduated.
Okay, so you're saying if you don't graduate from college, you're stupid. So if I have a genius IQ, I'm stupid because I didn't graduate college.
You were smarter than her.
No degree.
So if this female has 100 IQ, she's smarter than me if I have a genius IQ.
Why are you calling her this female?
What science course have you ever taken?
Hey, if my IQ is twice yours, does that mean you're smarter than me?
You're such an expert, but you're not an expert.
Hey, did you know that Einstein didn't finish college? Is Einstein stupid?
Pretending.
Hey, did you know Nikola Tesla? You guys know Nikola Tesla didn't finish? Hey,
you guys genius with
Hey, did you guys know Nikola? Did you guys know Nikola Tesla didn't finish college? Is he stupid?
You're not a genius, WITSIT. You can't even answer simple questions.
Yes, WITSIT. Nikola Tesla did say a lot of stupid things.
Hey, did you know Nikola Tesla could read a book?
Also, Nikola Tesla had a lot to show for his genius. You don't.
Okay, but that's not my point. My point is that...
he says.
Yeah, exactly. Because the point here is that you guys are saying that someone can't be smart unless they have a college degree, even though the most genius people...
you said you were smarter than her. We're asking you to prove it.
Okay, ask her if she wants to debate me and y'all don't interrupt. We'll see who's smarter.
See, that's about being smarter. He needs his ego boost.
Yeah, what's the second? Hey, let me debate Miss Genius that went to college.
I am so smart and you're dumb.
So smart. Yeah, you're so smart.
Because it makes you feel good about yourself. Because you're a fucking loser any other time.
What's the second law of thermodynamics? What's the second law? What's the second law of thermodynamics?
We know you get it wrong every time you try to yell at people what it is out in the streets.
I get it wrong.
Yeah, who's going to judge whether or not your definition of the second law of thermodynamics is correct?
It's not about it's not about judgment. It's about what it is.
Okay,
does a
thermodynamics principle apply to the bulk organization of matter? Yes or no?
The bulk organization?
Does the second law of thermodynamics apply to the bulk organization of matter, or the organization of bulk matter?
It's a natural law. It applies to everything at all scales.
Incorrect. That's
No,
why
it's
you
not.
can't judge whether or not you are correct on this matter.
It's a natural law. It applies to everything at all scales.
No.
Is wrong.
So you don't know what a natural law is?
Well,
I know
hold
that
on.
you
Let's
don't know what that
Hannah.
natural law
What's
is.
Hannah? What's correct then?
What? Well, I could tell him what is
Don't tell him.
incorrect.
Don't tell him.
What do you mean? Don't tell him, Hannah. What is correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Don't
You say
rely
it.
on chemo.
That's it. Since you know you're so smart.
It's a natural law. It applies at all scales.
It doesn't apply to the
describing
organization of
what
bulk
it
matter.
is.
Hey, how about this? Do natural laws apply at all scales? Yes or no?
Do they apply to the organization of bulk
You can't
matter?
answer it. Do natural laws apply at all scales? Yes or no?
Not to bulk matter.
Do natural laws
You're not
apply at all
answering.
scales?
It doesn't matter how much you yell it. The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the organization of bulk matter.
So does it apply at all scales? Yes or no?
I just disproved that with what I said.
So your claim is natural laws don't apply at all scales.
I'm claiming the second
well,
law
I'll
of
just cite it
thermodynamics.
and prove that you're a fucking
I'm
idiot.
claiming the second law of
I'll just cite it.
thermodynamics. I'm
You sound dumb.
claiming the second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the organization of bulk matter. You can choose to refute me on that with some citation if you wish.
Well, that's just you trying to dismiss the fact that it debunks your model.
Negative. The
Okay, what's the
second law of
what's the evidence for it?
thermodynamics does not debunk the globe model.
Hey, what's the evidence that it doesn't apply? What's the evidence?
The law itself. It's a thermodynamics principle. If you don't know the definition of thermodynamics, that's your problem.
Hey, what is the proof that it doesn't apply?
The name of the damn law. It's a thermodynamics principle.
It's a law.
Do you know what the law is?
Oh my God. Jesus.
Oh my
No,
God.
you
Oh my
fucking
God.
don't is the answer.
Hey, does second law of thermodynamics necessitate that systems seek spontaneous equilibrium?
Spontaneous?
Yes, they spontaneously seek equilibrium.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Doofus.
So you guys, this is where you straw man is. I say the equilibrium. You say that I'm saying the equilibrium is spontaneous when I say it spontaneously seek.
Yeah, WITSIT.
Spontaneously seeks equilibrium. You
He's
want to write it
broken.
down with your crayons?
WITSIT, I have finished with the calculations that you have been put it on those mountains finally, and the visible.
We're not talking about that.
One
Hold on a
second.
second, Ricardo.
I have been working on that. Yeah, I have put it a picture with the calculations on chat because I have been done the calculation, and the visible part that you're gonna see it is gonna be 679 feet in elevation. Yeah, from according to your distance that you put it 255 miles in the distance with an elevation of 9,136 feet. You didn't have it the elevation of the thing that is on the distance. I have been put at 5,000 feet just to have something there, yeah, to be something elevated in top. And on 5,000 feet, you're gonna have 679 visible object. So, what is the flaws here?
We're talking about
yeah, you're talking about something that you're saying because it's flawed. It's not flawed at fucking all. So, and
Kimo, why are you interrupting WITSIT? The question was directed to WITSIT. Can we get his answer to it?
And I have been double checked with any flat Earth fucking thing from round Earth thing that is on the internet, and I have been double checked and it's correct. So, where is the flaw here?
Okay, so you've said what you got to say.
Okay, so at 9,136 feet, if the target distance is 255 miles, then the target hidden height is 12,685 feet.
I have put it on 5,000 feet.
Do I need to screenshot it?
I have put it on 5. It's lower than that, man. It's lower than that. And I still have a visible. I still have 679 feet of visible thing.
Make sure to include in your screenshot, WITSIT, that it says that it assumes light travels in straight lines. Include that in your screenshot.
Sorry, he's trying to save you. He's trying to save you.
If you take a look on the calculations, you're gonna see on the page that I have been posted all the temperature 50 degrees, pressure 1.225 per kilogram per meter cube, radius of the Earth 3958.8 miles. So and the index of refraction of 0.4. So you have all the things there, and you still have 679 feet in elevation.
Hey man, I already screenshotted it. You look dumb.
Yeah, you already screenshotted something that it's what?
Oh, you skipped the thing that I told you to include, which says that that assumes light travels in straight lines.
Okay, so here you go. This is the Earth curve calculator at an observer height of 9,136 feet, and we have a target distance of 255 miles, and the target hidden height is 12,680.
Did you include it? So one second, WITSIT. Did you include the index of refraction of 0.4? Did you include it? No. Did you include the temperature of 50 degrees Celsius? Or let's say, because this is the average. Did you include the pressure atmosphere of in metric cubes? Or you have something that is pure distance over a sphere? Yes, on pure distance over a sphere, you're right. You're not able to see it. But if you're gonna include those things.
Yeah, so if you assume,
if you're not assuming not even a fucking thing. We are living in the atmosphere, man. And
no, but you're assuming the atmosphere is.
And by the way,
WITSIT, one second, WITSIT. You're literally assuming that we have no atmosphere.
And by the way, my friend, my friend, 1 second. So from 0 degrees in elevation, you're gonna have 0.2 degrees in elevation. So from where do you think those 0.2 is coming? And it's gonna imply this 679. From where? They are appearing magically.
I gotta go.
You gotta go.
Yeah,
of course you gotta go.
You gotta go. Yeah, I know.
Be on QE's show, dude. Okay, so I get it. You guys want to pretend that I'm running away from you because you're fucking retards. So whenever you
failed on Alberuni.
No, here you go. So whenever you assume that the atmosphere is bending around a ball, even though gases have no inherent shape, and then you take a degree variance of that, presupposing the size, that proves there's a ball because
that's actually a straw man, by the way.
Peace out.